Hi, everyone. Hi, Adriana. I'm Julianne, and this is Lillian.
Hola, bienvenidos.
And we are live with you today with Adriana Paula of Luna Cultura to learn about the science behind a crepe and cook along. Thank you for being here with us today, Adriana. This
Thank you.
program was made possible by the Boulder Library Foundation. Take it away, Adriana.
Thank you, Julian. Gracias. Hola, bienvenidos y bienvenidas. Bienvenidos todos, todas, todes. And welcome everyone. Today we're gonna make a crepe. And let's see what is the science behind these crepes. So welcome everybody, and we are in this week of science and technology. So let's find out the science behind every little single detail we do in our lives is full of science. So if we just gonna explore a little bit of that. So I would like to start acknowledging that we are standing in the lands of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute, and other native communities that even if we do not mention them, we know they did call this land their home. And I would like to acknowledge this because the whole history of being supported and of being displaced and how they have been always with the knowledge of taking care of this land and everything. So it is very important that we acknowledge and we try to fix things, right? Me gusta iniciar con reconocer que nos encontramos en las tierras de los grupos Arapaho, Cheyenne y Ute, y otros grupos que aunque no nombramos en este momento, sabemos que han llamado estas tierras su hogar, y es importante reconocer esto para reconocer no solamente la historia de violencia y desplazamiento, sino también reconocer que son estas comunidades y estos pueblos con su sabiduría que han cuidado y mantenido la armonía de la madre tierra aquí y donde se encuentran. Bueno, and also I would like to tell that we are doing this class from an approach from diversity, equity, and inclusion. So let's remember always that diversity, it is a way to acknowledge like everybody is different and we can open a dialogue and a conversation with everybody. And regardless gender, age, social class, race, and many other different and social classifications that sometimes tear us apart. And quiero señalar que vamos a hacer esta clase desde un enfoque de diversidad, equidad e inclusión, reconociendo que la diversidad implica reconocer muchos grupos diferentes, sin importar si estamos por nuestra raza, nuestra condición de género, clase, etnia, etcétera, y muchas clasificaciones sociales que a veces nos pareciera que nos dividen. Bueno, más bien es reconocer esa diversidad. And also equity, like regarding being able to everybody access opportunities and resources to improve their lives, ¿no? Entonces también la equidad, reconociendo que todas las personas tenemos derecho a acercarnos a recursos y espacios para poder vivir en dignidad. And inclusion, of course, because diversity, it is very important, but a lot of places that may be diverse, they're not always inclusive. So we want to make sure that everybody feels welcome and happy to be here. En la inclusión, bueno, sabemos que la diversidad implica a veces reconocer que hay muchas personas diferentes, pero no siempre implica la inclusión. Entonces es ese esfuerzo por saber que sí, que damos la bienvenida y que esperamos que toda la gente se sienta a gusto de estar aquí. Okay, well, and saying that, we're going to start to doing our crepes. The crepes is mostly we know that it is kind of like a thin pancake, and the origin is in France. It is in the Brittany area of France, and it used to be made with how you call it in English? Sorry, the buckwheat, which is a different kind of flour, kind of, and it was kind of like a mistake what they did it, right? So it was something splitting someone in something really, really hot. So instead of being the porridge, it came like a very thin and crispy kind of tortilla. So that's what a crepe was born in. And also they use it, is the crepe day. It is a very important tradition. It is on February 2nd, so it hasn't been too long ago, where it celebrates the chandelier. So, entonces, bueno, para entender un poco la historia de las crepas, se remonta a Francia, un poco antes del siglo XII, y en la región Bretaña de Francia, donde por accidente tiraron un poco de harina, de un tipo de harina de trigo, del trigo cerezado, que queda un poco como preparamos la avena, y cayó en una superficie caliente, y en vez de quedar pues la avena, quedó una como tortilla ligera y crujiente, y eso es un poco su origen. Y además el día de la crepa en Francia es el 2 de febrero, que pasó recientemente, y sería esta celebración de la Candelaria, similar a lo que se celebra en la Candelaria en México y en otros países, es donde se acostumbra a comer estas crepas como parte de la celebración de las fiestas de la Candelaria. Okay. So we're gonna explain some of the ingredients that we are using today. We do have like any kind of flour, like all-purpose flour. I have this one that is for high altitude and is pre-sifted, so kind of ready to use. So I'm using that, and then we're gonna use some milk. So any kind of milk. I'd rather to use whole milk because it gets like more consistent, but you can use like half and half and any other kind of milk. We're gonna use some eggs that I have here, a couple eggs. We're gonna have some butter, also the butter that you prefer, and that's for the batter, okay? So vamos a utilizar entonces un poco de harina de multiusos tengo para alturas elevadas y que está previamente cernida, entonces está lista para ser usada. También vamos a utilizar un poco de leche, a mí me gusta la leche entera, pero pueden utilizar leche parcialmente descremada. Vamos a utilizar huevos, un par de huevos y mantequilla. Esto es lo que vamos a utilizar para la mezcla. Okay, so something important here is like knowing like the flour. In the website we put also like a little bit of sugar and a pinch of salt. That is optional. I'd rather not to use like extra sugar and the salt, since we are not doing like a rising thing like other breads that it needs to rise. We don't need to add that much like the sugar or anything else, but some people like to do that, so that's why I put it optional. Okay, entonces en la receta también original que aparece en el sitio de internet de este programa, aparecía poder usar azúcar y sal, y que puede servir a veces para hacer que se eleve más la harina. Nosotros realmente no la necesitamos en este momento. La harina por sí misma ya tiene un poco de azúcar. Los almidones de la harina se transforman en azúcar y entonces, bueno, no los necesitamos. Por eso aparecen como opcionales. So we're gonna measure 2 cups of the flour, sorry. And I have this bowl that is kind of a middle size, so we can put the bowl in the flour in the bowl, like the 2 cups. The flour it has protein and it has a starch, which is would it become sugar? So that's why I don't use like extra sugar on this. And also, like if we, when it's dried, the the flour is just like if you see, it's very loose. They are not getting together. So that's why we need to add some liquids on this, right? So I do have my glove thing to stir. Tengo este batidor de globo, como estamos añadiendo las 2 tazas de azúcar en nuestro bol. Como pueden ver, es un bol con 2 tazas de harina, perdón, de harina. La harina tiene algunos, tiene proteínas y tiene almidones. Los almidones se transformarán en azúcares y es lo que va a hacer que se aglutine o se unan. Pero mientras están sueltas, como pueden ver, están muy pues sueltas y no están unidas, entonces por eso necesitamos añadir algo de líquido. Entonces el líquido que vamos a añadir es la leche y vamos a medir aproximadamente 3 tazas de leche. Entonces, so we're gonna add the milk and we're gonna measure like 3 cups of milk. I always start with 2 cups to see how is getting our batter, because it has to be like kind of similar like the pancakes batter, but it is a little bit less thick, so it will be kind of like more. So with this glove stirring tool, we're gonna stir it around. So let me maybe show you over here. Hold on a second. Okay, oops, I got some flour here. So we're gonna stir it. Okay. And the point is to get all the little things of, like the los grumos, like we call like the little oh, sorry, lump, I think lumps. Yes, is that the correct word?
Yes,
okay.
Lumps.
Okay, thank you. I was like, what is the word for that? So I'm trying to make sure that this goes away, right? And because as we were talking about the science of this, because the flour has protein, when we add the liquid, it will, the protein and the starch, it will start working and doing this chemistry in the batter, and it will allow to like all the molecules of the protein that is actually the gluten, it will start getting like more in the way to get it connected, to get it like all the molecules will be connected, so we will have a very nice batter that will be like getting tasty and all the proteins and amino acids that we get from this process, okay? So with 2 cups of milk that I just put here, I still feel it kind of thick. It's still kind of like the regular pancake mix. So it's not, as you can see, it's very thick still. So I will add now the eggs, because this will be more moisture. It will provide more moisture in our batter. Así que, bueno, vamos a recapitular en español. Lo que estamos haciendo es pusimos 2 tazas de leche aproximadamente en nuestra mezcla. Como decíamos, nuestra harina tiene proteínas y almidones. Al momento que se mezclan con la leche, permiten que se aglutinen estas proteínas, estas moléculas de la proteína de la harina, que de hecho es parte del gluten, se empiezan a acumular, se empiezan a aglutinar, lo que va a permitir que podamos tener una pasta adecuada, y además, bueno, también las proteínas que le va a brindar a nuestro cuerpo, ¿verdad? No solo vamos a engordar, sino que también vamos a ser nutridos, ¿no? Porque a veces las crepas son deliciosas y pueden ser un postre bastante, pues abundante pues, azúcares y grasas y demás, pero tiene su porción de proteínas, por eso también las frutas frescas para hacerlo más balanceado. So I was telling that I like crepes can be a dessert that it can be like really very rich because it has like a lot of butter and I like with whole milk and everything and all the feelings that it can be kind of rich, but we're gonna balance it with the fruit and the nuts and everything. So it is a good dessert. Maybe if you eat something light like a fish and then you have this rich dessert, that's good. And also the crepes can be like sweet, but also can be savory, which is I love also. We do in Mexico, we do crepes with poblano pepper, con chile poblano, with rajas poblanas. So you do all the poblano pepper process that is has to be roasted, and then you peel off the peel. Then you cook it with onion, garlic, the poblano pepper, some cream, maybe some corn and mushrooms. So you put all that together, and that's a great feeling for your savory crepes, as many others, of course. Okay. Okay, so as we have the eggs, we have the milk, and we still need like I probably will go for 1 full cup of milk more. So we're gonna do 1 cup more. And maybe if you are kind of like, okay, let's see if you like, well, no, actually it's not only because if you like, we need it kind of thin, the batter. So we can actually make very thin crepes, right? It is kind of making, I always say, well, in Mexico we call tortilla crepes, so because it looks like a tortilla, right? So, okay. So we keep stirring with our tool with this. You can also use a fork. The use of this allows the batter to have like more oxygen on it, so it helps to all the molecules and everything to get like in the right way that we need. Así que nuestro batidor de globo lo que permite, además de quitar los grumos, es poder hacer oxigenar nuestra mezcla. Y al momento de oxigenarla, pues lo que le está dando es la consistencia necesaria para que nuestras crepas queden perfectas, ¿verdad? Y algo importante es recordar que si no tiene un batidor de globo, puede usar un tenedor. So if you don't have one of these, you can use a fork, and it will do the same thing to make oxygen to our batter, okay? Okay. So as you can see here, I will show you. This is very, very thin. Kind of, you can see like a little string of butter coming down. So, and I can probably even put a little bit more of milk. So let me try. It's always like, I always try to do the precise amounts of the recipe, but I actually kind of more like I go with the flow, right? So you can actually see like, oh, like, okay, now it is better. Okay. So if you can see, it has to, you have to be able to see it like a little string coming down, like very kind of liquidy. Entonces nuestra mezcla tiene que quedar un poco líquida. Como vieron, le puse un poquito más de leche y el chiste es que puedan ver cómo cae, como una tirita de listón, ¿no? Cayendo un poco líquida, ¿ok? So we do have our batter ready. There's some people that say that you should wait like many hours. You can do it overnight and wait for the next day to use it, or you can wait 1 hour. So sometimes you don't even need to wait before starting to make the crepes, but it's always good because when you wait, you allow the butter and the flour and all the protein of the flour to actually get more together. Sorry about that. To get more together and being able to have the Oops. Sorry. Okay. Being able to have less less holes in the batter, so when you use it, it will be like more even, right? You're correct. Así que algunas personas dicen que se tendría que dejar por una noche antes, o que la puedes dejar 1 hora. Y gracias, Maribel. Y bienvenida. Y en ocasiones solamente hace falta dejarla reposar un rato, porque si la dejamos reposar, bueno, probablemente lo que sucede es que las moléculas precisamente de la harina se pueden cohesionar mejor, y entonces va a permitir que nuestra crepa no tenga huecos, no tenga hoyitos, y entonces quede pues mucho más perfecta, ¿verdad? So we can let our butter to sit there for a little bit. So we can actually let it sit a little bit. It doesn't have to be the overnight session and anything, but we can, in between, we can slice like some strawberries or bananas or any fruit that you like. The other day I didn't have anything around but kiwi, and I made some kiwi crepes, and they were delicious. So right now I do have here, like you see, some berries and some more berries, blackberries, strawberries. Tenemos algunas bayas y tenemos moras y fresas. Y mientras estamos reposando nuestra mezcla, podemos mientras rebanar un poquito. Pueden rebanar fresas, plátanos, la fruta que a ustedes se les antoje. El otro día yo no tenía nada cerca y bueno, tenía unos kiwis y quedaron unas crepas muy ricas con el kiwi. So we can take some time to make some slice of the fruit, because we're gonna put the fruit inside the crepes, so you can slice them very thin. So it depends. You can slice it thin or big chunks of fruit, whatever you rather and like better. And so we give a few minutes for the mixture to be ready. Okay. I don't know if you have any questions. Feel free to put it in the chat. Feel free to write us any questions that you may have. Questions and comments, anything. Ok. Y entonces estamos rebanando las frutas. Mientras tanto, así permitimos que nuestra mezcla repose un momento, y eso permite que se cohesionen bien las moléculas de la harina. Y mientras tanto estamos rebanando nuestras frutas para que queden, que es con lo que las vamos a rellenar. Pueden decidir rebanarlas muy delgadas o en grandes trozos, conforme a ustedes les gusten y lo prefieran, ¿verdad? Ok. So we have like some fruit in here. Ok. Un poco de fruta lista. I also have like some nuts. I have pecan nuts. Tengo unas nueces de Castilla. Nosotros decimos nueces pecanas o nueces de Castilla. Y tengo una, ¿cómo se llama esto? Es, para no decir la marca. Bueno, tenemos, crema de avellana con chocolate. So we do have hazelnut and chocolate spread. And we do have the strawberries and the blackberries, and we do have the pecan nuts. So that's what I'm going to use for my filling. You know something? I completely forgot to add the butter to my batter. So let's take one step back and let's melt some butter. We need around 2 tablespoons of butter that we're gonna use to melt and add to our batter. I do like butter a lot, so 2 tablespoons, even 3, it doesn't hurt. Well, actually, butter is one of the good grease that we can have. And I mean, if you like There's like some other, hold on, because I put some flour get into my pan. So, okay. So we're gonna melt some of the butter. As you can see, I do have my pan here. And I am melting my butter in there. Okay. And this will also provide, it will also provide protein, and it will also help the whole process of cohesion. Yeah, cohesion of the molecules of this protein. Entonces, gracias Catalina por sus comentarios. Entonces, vamos a derretir un poco de mantequilla. Había yo olvidado poner la mantequilla en la mezcla y necesitamos aproximadamente 2 o 3 cucharadas de mantequilla. A mí me encanta la mantequilla, además es una de las grasas buenas que están recomendando ahora en su consumo. Primero nos decían que no, ahora nos dicen que es bastante bueno consumir mantequilla, entonces, y además es con un sabor delicioso. Entonces vamos a añadir estas cucharadas, vamos a permitir que derrita bien y los vamos a añadir. También va a ayudar al proceso de cohesión de las moléculas de nuestra mezcla. Okay, so let's wait until this gets ready. The butter gets completely melted here. This is slow. It is good to melt your butter in a slow way so you do not burn it. Because you don't want to burn your butter and any oil, actually, because when you burn any oil, it becomes the non-good oils, right, that we actually need. We need some, but not burn it. And so, entonces vamos a derretir nuestra mantequilla y vamos a tratar que se derrita a fuego muy lento para que no se queme. No es bueno quemar ningún aceite. Cualquier aceite, si se quema, bueno, sabemos que lo convertimos en un aceite, en una grasa saturada, y entonces es un aceite dañino para nosotros, ¿ok? Okay. While I'm waiting for the butter to be ready, I can mix a little bit more. We can mix a little bit more our butter to make sure we don't have on any of the. Can you repeat, Julian, how do you say the grumos? the plums? How do you say that?
Make sure you don't have any lumps in your batter.
Yes, thank you very much. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay. So, okay. My butter is almost ready. My batter is almost ready as well. So let's see. Okay. I love the smell of the butter. It's like, bueno, la mantequilla ya prácticamente está derretida y la mezcla está lista para tenerse. Entonces, I'm gonna put the butter on it. Because we melted not too hot and not too high temperature, we actually have we actually can put it right away. If your oil it is too hot, you don't want to put it right away in your batter. You should wait. But because we didn't have very high temperature on our pan, so we can put it right away in our batter. Entonces pusimos nuestra mantequilla y como se derritió a fuego muy, muy lento, no estaba muy caliente, entonces sí se puede poner inmediatamente en nuestra mezcla. Si lo hubiéramos puesto a temperatura muy alta, habríamos tenido que esperar un momento para que enfriara. Bueno, porque esto se entibiera un poco. So when you have the butter, you can see how your butter becomes like more smooth. So this will be like really, really good. I can tell you. Cuando ponen la mantequilla pueden ver que la mezcla está mucho más suavizada y va a estar muy, muy bien. Now you can clean your pan, the extra butter that you have on it, with piece of towel, paper towel, puede limpiar su sartén con una pieza de toalla de papel para tenerla, para que no tenga exceso de mantequilla. So you do not have that much extra butter on your pan. And it doesn't matter. The first one, it is. Yes.
So it looks like we have a question from
Yes.
Janet. Hi, Janet. We miss you.
Yeah, we love you. And yes, we're doing the same recipe for the crepes, even if you fill it with a savory filling. It is the same. It is just the same. You can make a lot, and you have like for the savory, and then you have for your dessert, and you have the whole package together. Sí podemos hacer la misma mezcla para las crepas saladas y las crepas dulces. Utilizamos la misma mezcla y esto, no importa, pueden hacer bastantes crepas y así podrán utilizarlas para sus crepas saladas y para sus crepas dulces. Okay, so once we have okay, once we have our batter ready, we with a spoon we're gonna put some in our pan, and we're gonna try to make our pan kind of going around to make sure that we cover all the surface. I'm going this way. I try to do a lot of like movements like this to make sure that it's getting even. And as you can see, it is now starting to getting cooked. And crepes are like very nice because they cook kind of fast, so you don't have to wait too much. Okay. And if you see, it is like very even, almost. We have some of these grumos. Como pueden ver, está muy parejita, se empieza a cocinar. El proceso de cocción también tiene su encanto científico, ¿no? Como las moléculas del calor, entonces permiten esa cohesión, pues que quede en una pieza de crepa, ¿verdad? As you see, the cook process, it has also its magic. It's like how the heat allows to these proteins and all the molecules and that we do have from the butter to get together in this beautiful piece of crepe. And now you can see it's maybe a little bit more. Okay. Podemos esperar un poco más. Conforme ven aquí, la crepa está cocinándose. La temperatura adecuada para cocinar es una crepa es entre media y un poco alta porque se cocina realmente rápido. So our regular temperature to cook a crepe, it is kind of between medium to high temperature. Oops, sorry about this. Let me see. Maybe I should have worked a little bit more. I always say the first one is kind of like it is the sample to see like, okay, what should I do? A little bit more of what? Okay.
This is the one that you eat yourself, right? And then serve your friends the others.
Exactly. You know what I'm talking about. Yes. La primera es un poco, decíamos, es un poco como la prueba, ¿no? Y es la que nos toca comernos a nosotros y ya las siguientes ya les daremos a los invitados, exactamente. Thank you, Julian. You were just right. Okay. So, let me... Okay. So the crepes are kind of, well, I feel like kind of easy and kind of fast to make. And it can be as regular for a breakfast, or it can be as fancy for a birthday breakfast or a fancy dinner. So you can decide how to use it. So if you see, this is like it is very thin. That's why we like to have it, a very thin crepe, and you can remove it. So I'm gonna do another one to be a second sample to see if it gets better. Okay. You don't need to add more butter on this. Vamos a hacer una segunda prueba para ver si esta ocasión sale un poco mejor. Y no se necesita añadir más mantequilla. You only need to add the butter to your pan the first time. It is actually the butter that you melt for your batter. And you don't actually need to add any extra butter in the whole process. It's just like the crepes. I mean, if you have a non-stick pan, it is like very easy to go like doing all the crepes with the same pan and no extra butter, okay? Así que no tenemos que añadir ninguna mantequilla extra. Una vez que se puso la que derretimos al inicio, es más que suficiente. Y si tienen un sartén que no sea, que tenga teflón para que no se peguen las cosas, está perfecto. Así se pueden ir haciendo todas las crepas sin tener que añadir nada más. Okay. So we're gonna wait a little bit. And you can decide like how light or how brown do you like your crepe. I do like mine like kind of a little bit crispy and toasty. So you can actually decide that. It's totally up to you, because being so thin, even if it looks like very light, it will be cooked already. So because it is something like very. So if you see, the flip was easier the second time. Okay. Because I'm using it. Sorry?
I was wondering if I could ask you a question.
Yes, go ahead.
How many crepes will your bowl of batter make? How many people will you be serving with all your batter?
Okay, with this that we just made is 2 cups of flour, 3 cups of milk, 2 eggs, and 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter. You can make around 20 crepes.
Wow.
Between 16 to 20 crepes easily, depending. And if you can see, the size is not too little. So it's like, yeah. So you can make a lot of them.
Thank you.
It's kind of, I think it is a very tasty plate, and it's very affordable because the ingredients are not that expensive, and because you can fill it with anything. You can fill it, like if you're making sweet, you can put cream cheese and some jam, or you can put maybe just brown sugar and cinnamon and a little bit of butter on it, and that will be delicious. Or if you're making it savory, it can be with some cheese and some ham, or turkey, or tuna, or veggies, and for all the taste, for everybody's taste. So we're gonna do one last one, and then we're gonna start filling them up. Okay. So I don't know. Okay. What Julian was asking, lo que Julian estaba preguntando es cuántas crepas se pueden hacer con esta mezcla, y decíamos que aproximadamente se pueden hacer, aquí, fíjense, se pueden hacer aproximadamente entre 16 a 20 crepas, y pues me parece que es un platillo muy rico y que puede ser muy agradable. Me parece que a veces puede ser como muy como un platillo delicioso y que además es accesible porque los ingredientes no son demasiado caros y uno puede rellenarlos de lo que sea. Puede rellenarlos de lo más suculento y tal vez exquisito y caro que pueda hacer, o de lo más sencillo y igualmente suculento, ¿no? Como azúcar morena con canela. Podría rellenarlo con queso, crema y mermelada. Y si lo quiere rellenar con atún, con champiñones o con hongos, lo puede rellenar con jamón y queso, ¿no? Entonces tiene como muy versátil. It's a very versatile. Versatile? It's a very, yeah, a little bit more. Okay. So we're getting almost ready to do the filling of our crepes, okay? Very close. Okay. You just flip it. And as you see, if you can see, the flipping process is also like very easily, and it comes like very easily to move around. Okay. Very, very good. Okay. And once we do have our crepes tortillas ready, our crepes ready, we're ready to start filling them with anything that you may like to fill it with, okay? Ahora que tenemos nuestras crepas listas, que ya están prácticamente listas, podemos comenzar a rellenarlas con lo que tengamos cerca. Okay. So I'm gonna put this away. So I'm taking the last one here. Okay. I'm gonna turn my heat off for a little bit. Voy a apagar. And as you can see, we do have our crepes in this plate. I have some of our fruits ready to fill and some other here next, like in case that we want extra. And remember your nuts. And what we're gonna do is like open this jar of delicious chocolate hazelnut spread. And you don't need that much because being so thin, you can actually put a layer very kind of thin in the half of the crepe. I don't know if you can see it. Being so thin with you don't need that much because then it will be like extra sweet. So you put some, okay. Then you add some of your strawberries on this. I don't know if you can see it right. Let me know. Okay. Okay, we have some strawberries, some nuts on top, and then we just fold it like half and then half again. So we will have like a little triangle in there. Okay. Sorry, I saw that it was a question, but I actually didn't see it.
Oh, it's okay. It wasn't a question. It was just the fillings ingredients.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So we're gonna do one more in the same process. So you add some of your spread. It can be, as we say, it can be cream cheese. It can be whipped cream and some strawberries. That's also good enough. Okay. And there's different ways to fold a crepe also. Like you can fold it, you can roll it as a taco. And usually when I make them savory, I do actually roll them as a taco, like a roll. Well, here we do have our 3 crepes ready to go with the strawberry, the nuts, and then we can put on top, like you can add like some chocolate syrup, or you can add some powdered sugar, like confectionate sugar. So you can add like anything to decorate. You can put some of your berries on top to make it look cute, to make it look nice and pretty, whatever you may like. And I was saying like rolling for I like the savory ones. Roll them because you stuff them with anything that you would like to stuff. Like I love like doing chicken and mushroom that you cook, and then you roll them. I put it on like um, on a pan. Well, the square ones that you will put in the oven, and then you smother kind of with a sauce that can be kind of creamy, or any sauce that you like. Some cheese to melt on top, and you put it in the oven, and it is actually delicious. So there's like different ways to fold the crepes. So las crepas puedes doblarlas de distintas formas, las podemos doblar como triangulitos, como hicimos acá, unos pequeños triangulitos, ya están rellenadas, tienen sus fresas, sus nueces adentro, puedes ponerle más frutas por afuera también, un poco más de nueces si quieres también, y hay distintas formas de doblar las crepas, también se pueden enredar como si fueran un taquito, entonces puedes rellenarlas. Yo disfruto mucho hacer eso con las que son saladas. Puedes rellenarlas y las enredas en un taco, tipo taco, las pones en un refractario que se pueda hornear. Y una vez que se han rellenado, me encanta hacer unas que hago con pollo y hongos, y ya se enredaron, se pusieron en el refractario, se bañan con una salsa de crema, el tipo de salsa que a usted más le guste, un poco de queso para gratinar, se mete al horno, y bueno, me parece que puede ser así como muy práctico y muy delicioso. Entonces son las distintas formas en que tenemos para hacer una crepa. So as you can see, we do have these delicious crepes ready to go. And you can, yeah, crepes are like very, as you see, they're very easy to make, and they're tasty, and there are, you can adapt the crepes to eat it sweet, savory, uh, with anything that you like. So please enjoy your crepes. Thank you. Let me know if you have any questions or anything. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Adriana. That was so fun to watch. And my partner actually followed along, and I now have a beautiful crepe to eat also.
Very good.
I was wondering, how did you learn to make crepes?
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting because I think it has been like in my family the whole time. We do have my mother used to make the Poblano Pepper crepes like very often, so I think that's I kind of grow like having these crepes around, when especially when it was like a for a birthday party, or a fancy dinner, because you always think like, oh, crepes from France, they must be fancy, part of the colonialism. but but then you see, oh no, it was from the poor people, because it is something that it was affordable. So that when you see like the history of food, like how many dishes have usually are like the most affordable ones, and then they kind of became the fancy ones, and then you see like, okay, as long as when you make them at home, then you see, yeah, they're still affordable. Right? So yeah, I think kind of have it in my family since I was little. And actually in Mexico it's funny because, well, now you can find like many places that they will sell you the crepes like already with the filling and everything, but they used to be more like they make the tortilla, so you were going to kind of like a tortilleria, like the tortilla store, to buy the tortilla crepes. So that was also an option. Claro que sí, Maribel. La próxima vez doy la receta de las crepas de rajas poblanas, por supuesto.
What else do you add with the poblano if you do make a savory crepe?
Oh, like well, what I cook, the poblano pepper, we do broil them, and then they get like really black the skin, and then we peel that part, so it will get like very soft. Then you just chop like some onion, garlic, put the poblano pepper. I add mushrooms, corn, and you can even add chicken, some cream, and salt and pepper, and that's it mostly. Like you cook that, and that's what I will stuff the crepes with. Yeah.
That sounds delicious.
Ya me dio hambre. I'm hungry now.
Well, it looks like you have a thank you from Janet as well.
Oh, thank you, Janet. We love you. We miss you. Yes, I will do the savory next time. Don't worry. I will send you some.
And I think that's all the questions we have for today. I did want to tell our viewers that this class is an offering for Computer Science Education Week, which is happening today through Saturday. You can visit boulderlibrary.org/csed to see the calendar of events, and we hope you'll join us for some of those this week. So thanks again, Adriana. Thank you, Lily, for being here. Thank you, Chrissy is off screen, but thank you, Chrissy, for supporting us on the back end. And thanks again to the Boulder Library Foundation.
Thank you.
Gracias,
And
Adriana. Gracias a todos.
the computer is also very useful because then you can actually find apps where you can measure, like convert your measurements, ¿no? Puedes encontrar aplicaciones para convertir tus medidas, puedes además de ver tutoriales como el día de hoy y demás. So computers can be very helpful in the kitchen also, like measuring and everything.
Totally, I agree.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. And we can't wait to have you back again for another program. I know that we'll have you back for so many more. So we'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Gracias a todos por estar aquí.